Look what I found. It's a battle-born battery. Huh. Let's go! Created this little fake wall using a 2x2 and another 2x2, and then I put my board on top of that. That way I could hide all of my excess wires that are coming through these holes here. I could push them back in there, keep them out of the way. I went through and I chased all the wires down and labeled them so I know where everything goes and what it's for. I pulled my wires out from my solar panel, and they're gonna go up here into the solar. But you always wanna hook up your batteries first to your charge controller. So the first thing is we need to get power to here so that we get power to this. You could put these batteries like that. That might be better because we're closer to this. You need to go positive to positive, negative to negative. That's going to be a big run to the positive over here. So I didn't go into a lot of details on every little aspect of this install, but I am going to show you what I did in detail so you could see what I had to do to get it to work. So the first thing that I did is I built this little box, this case here. So you can see it sticks out about 2 inches. And then I was able to just tuck all of my extra wires and things back inside of that and only have showing the wires that I want to have out, which right here you can see on the bottom, you have these coming out of the bottom here, going up. I've got all of these labeled and where they're gonna go. Some of them I don't know what they are, so I just called them like A1, A2, A3. And then that way I was able to kind of organize my wires. So I have wires coming out here. I've got wires coming out here. I've got my solar wires coming out in these 2 holes here going into there. This is pretty much the block that's running everything. So we've got positive and negative. We don't want to mix those up. Don't drop a screwdriver on that. These do have covers, so once I'm done, I do need to do an earth ground. So I need to take from this, I'm gonna run a ground over, drop it down here. We're gonna drill a hole there and go into the frame, or I'll tie it in over here. Maybe down here, this would be a good spot for it. Right now it's working just fine without that. As you can see, it's sunny out. We're making, the voltage is 14.3. So this is really cool. You got all your little features you can run through there. I did want to talk about these battle-born batteries. These things are 100 amp hours each. I ran my heater for about 5 hours and we had no issues. Oh my gosh, you guys aren't gonna believe this. This whole time I've been thinking I need to go back to the office because I think my inverter is gonna show up there. Check this out. I have a package. Pure sine wave inverter. It's here. So what came with this was some of these cables, and you're supposed to double up these cables to get the right thickness of wire. So you put 2 on the negative side, and then you would hook that up to your power block or whatever you're using. That's not gonna work for me. That is not gonna work. 2 gauge wire, and this stuff is super burly. Basically quadrupling what this is by using this one thing right here. So we're gonna have more current being able to run through here between the batteries and these 2 guys right here. These are the 2 most important connections, because when you're going into the inverter, you can't have a bunch of draw or things are gonna get too hot. The inverter is gonna go right here, and then this side we have a hard wire that is gonna be deliver about twice as much as what we're getting out of each one of these plugs. So we've got our lugs, we've got shrink wrap, we've got a fuse. This is a 300 amp fuse, 2 gauge wire, and that's the right size lug for this wire. You want to make sure that you get all of this stuff correctly. I'm going to put links to all the stuff that I bought here in my description below. You'll have the Renogy, you'll have this pure sine wave 3000 watt inverter, fuse block. You got a 12 to 24 volt upgrade This is going to be for my stereo system. The Battleborn batteries, those blocks that we have right here. The first thing we want to do is place this right here. So we need to make some wires for that. Before I get all of this stuff plugged in, this is going to be hot with 120 volts when we're done. I've designed this so that these wires will kind of push in and out. So hopefully I can just push this in. It's got a little, just a pressure plate right there. So it's going to just pinch that wire right in there and we're good. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but these wires are just kind of sliding right back behind this plate. And then you just tighten up that plate. So this ground was a little bit longer, so I kind of have to manipulate it or a little bit back there, but that should do the trick right there. We are in on that thing. So I'm just going to hold that where I want it to be in its position, and we'll go ahead and tighten that one down. So again, we have white here, which is the common. We've got the ground here, which is this yellow, and we've got the black here. I don't know why they couldn't figure out. I guess this is different. Maybe this is how they do it in China or something. I'm not sure. These outlets are going to be hot as soon as we get this thing on and we turn the power on here. It will be hot there. So for now, let's go ahead and get this side hooked up. Before I do that, I've heard people say, don't connect the solar panels until your battery's hooked up. So I imagine that if I have these hooked up and I disconnect the battery, could be bad that way too. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but just take precautions here, and I'm just gonna at least disconnect the negative one. Go ahead and put your lug on like this, and then we can kind of just mock this up a little bit. So we're gonna say, all right, we're gonna bring this down here, and this one's gonna be right there. And what I wanna do is actually mark this with a Sharpie, so I know right where this is sitting, like that. On the other end, just do this until you feel the wire down underneath there. You don't want to cut any of the wires. Okay. So I went with the smaller size hole on this one. So this is 5/16. And then this is 2 gauge wire. So now if we mock this up again, being careful not to short anything out, I'm gonna go ahead and put it like this, and that actually looks really good. It's hammer time. If I was doing this all the time, I'd probably use something different than this, but this works pretty good. So you just lift this guy up, stick your piece in here, it kind of sits right on the edge there. Line up your mark, take this guy with the hammer like this. You lift it out like that. You've got a perfect, this crimp, this thing is super tight, never gonna go anywhere. So we're gonna line up these 2 marks right here like that. See, I got them lined up right there. And we're gonna hit it with a hammer. You can hear it kind of change tone once you hit it and you get it all the way down. But you can see that's a pretty good crimp. Pinches that back there, and then it gives you a nice punch right there. We're going to shrink wrap all this stuff up. Okay, so you can see we've got the positive, we've got the fuse, and now we can take our longer wire and go down to here. So you can see now that fits really well down there. This one is gonna go that way, so it'll go in just like this. You can kind of see that the way that this is pushing down on this, it's not really gonna work very well going that way, but it might work better this way. I don't know. Either way, we're kind of stressing that one out. I think I'm too long. I need to make this wire just a little bit shorter. This is just the way I'm doing it, guys. I'm not saying this is the right way, so All you guys out there with all your special tools and your knowledge, this is just the way I'm doing it. So again, boom, boom. That looks better to me already. Okay, so we got a positive and negative. We're ready to connect this. I do have a wire down here that's gonna be going into a bunch of stuff for the kitchen. I'm gonna have another outlet in there. It's gonna go into the shower so that it will actually be powering the shower head. So I'm not gonna connect the inverter in yet. I don't wanna electrocute myself. We're really close. As far as the solar stuff goes, it's all hooked back up. Solar panels are running again. Hook this back up and then everything else will be working and charging and running again. So Renogy has its own app. And so this is really cool. It actually logs in with Bluetooth, and I've got a little Bluetooth module right there hidden back here. But you can see on the app here, it shows you voltage, current, power. So right now we're at 15.3 on our voltage at 100%. So our batteries are fully charged and it is 25 degrees Celsius. We can go through, we can make all of these adjustments and these parameters. All the history, I guess, is what this is showing you. Load, battery, some more stats in here. So this is pretty cool. We don't need to have another display. I can just jump into my app, connect Bluetooth, and I can see everything that's going on with the whole system. And we got some cool lighting coming up. I'm gonna start doing cabinets, shower, kitchen. We're done. I mean, we're almost there. I could take a nap right here, right now. Got my swivel seats in. I'm gonna put those in. Turn around, turn back around. Charge my phone. This is my phone charging system right here. It's pretty small for a phone charging system. I can also charge my laptop and a microwave, skill saw, refrigerator, charge my batteries for my drills, and hair dryer. Probably. So that was the solar system. I was really excited to get this one done. This was definitely one that I was looking forward to. I've never done one before, and it really isn't as hard as people make it out to be. I definitely wouldn't be intimidated about doing another one. So I had to get some extra pieces to plug all this stuff together to make everything so that it worked. I'm gonna put links to that in the description below. We did all of our negatives together, all of our positives together, ran that back to the back, and that makes it so that we're running 12 volts. If we were running each panel going positive to negative, positive to negative, positive to negative, that's gonna increase the voltage on every single one. I would say that 90% of the stuff that we're going to use in the van is 12 volts. We have a 12-volt refrigerator. All of our lights are going to be 12 volts. The only things that really aren't going to be 12 volts are going to be the shower head. That's only going to be running 5 minutes at a time when we take a shower, and I don't even like taking showers. I like to stink a lot. I like to get really smelly, so I'm not worried about that. Anyways, most of that stuff is going to be laptop, charging batteries for the drone, charging batteries for my drills, but it's not going to draw a whole bunch. The system that I've got in here is super overkill. We ran the heater last night because I was in there messing around trying to figure out some stuff for the shower, and I had that thing on for about 5 hours. I had some glue drying in there. It was about 20 degrees last night here, and it was about 70 degrees in the van, no problem. And it took about 10 minutes to heat it up to that point. It was really fast. I am really impressed with those diesel heaters. That's in another video. You guys would go ahead and watch that if you want to. So that is the solar system in the GDV. We are getting there. We're making progress. I'm super stoked about that. If you guys like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit the bell button. You'll get notifications. And I will be finishing this build, and I'll be showing you step by step what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it like everybody else, I can tell you that for sure. I have spent way less money by not spending the money on like the super expensive diesel heaters. They're like $1,200. I got mine for like, I think it was like 130 bucks, something like that. My refrigerator that I'm using is a 12-volt refrigerator, and everybody's saying, oh no, you gotta get this $1,400 refrigerator. I think that one was 230 bucks. We're gonna just go with that. I'm saving money wherever I can, and I'm also trying to get really good quality stuff. So when I'm finished with this, I will have a list of everything below that I put in the van that I bought for it, only if it's good and it works. I'm only gonna tell you what I liked and what I didn't like. So thank you again for watching. I appreciate all of my subscribers, and you will see me in the next video.